about mentorship as well, and how much that I realized that mentoring is such an important thing in life. After speaking to Michael, who helped me get through my introvertness, in a sense. He helped me be able to be in front of a crowd and be able to speak in front of all of you guys in a comfortable manner, and one that I can express the amount of goodness that Michael has brought to everyone in DBC by his appearance and also his help and also his mentoring. So I wanted to really appreciate him on all that he's done towards that. And we really hope to bring PBL some street smarts, because we can really need to really boost the members there who do have those motivations, to actually have some direction with what they're doing. So that's why I think having someone so professional and developing is such a great thing for our club and for our school. Thank you.
Story about Dylan. About two months ago, we do a lot of different outings, and we do many different things. And we went rock climbing, seriously, rock climbing. And little did I know is that this young man was scared of heights. And he came because he wanted to get over it, and he wanted to hang out with the street smarts. And so we were trying, so once we got back there, it was actually in Berkeley, it was at Craigmont Park. And I didn't want to go up on that thing either. But they were all looking at me. And so Greg back there, he didn't care. He was the first one up there, and he went up. And so then it was like, I'm looking at the other board member, and we're like, what of us has to go? Because the rest of the students, they were like, I don't know if we want to do this. So I went up there and did it. And I got up there pretty high, and I realized, oh my God, now we can get back down. And I think pretty much after me, this young man did it. And I knew how much he was afraid of heights. And by the end of it, he had gone to the top like 3 or 4 times. And so I just want to say, Dylan, that I'm really proud of you, buddy.
I wouldn't have gotten that opportunity if I wasn't for you. Thank you so much.
All right. Now it's a little bit of recognition here. What happened to it? Brian!
I guess I'm going to have to do it.
Cameron? Brian?
Yeah. Yep. I'm done. Oh man, awesome.
Brian's a manager here. He's our hero.
Hopefully it was relative soon. Okay.
There you go. Okay. That's good. So just,
Yeah, I'm going to go to the next one.
oh. Okay. Who is that? Anyway, we have a couple of retiring board members. Cameron, why don't you stand up, buddy? This young man here, I've known Cameron now for probably about 5 years. And I remember I was talking to Mike Wilkins, and I said, I want to get a testimonial from Cameron. But I didn't know where he was. And so Mike made the connection. And so I went out to Indave, which is in the Presidio. And you can see like the Golden Gate Bridge from where his office was. And so I pitched him, and I thought I was going to have to wait weeks before he would say yes or no. And he said yes right on the spot. And so I just want you to know, Cameron, that I appreciate you and thank you for all that you've done. Believe it or not, we may not even be here today if it hadn't been for Cameron. This is part of networking. Is Cameron, he was in research. So sometimes I wouldn't hear from Cameron for a while, and then he'd send me an email. And because he's been on the internet doing something. So he said, there's this group in San Francisco called Latinos in Finance.
Yeah.
We're gonna go, let's go to one of their events. So I ended up bringing Maria, 2 of the interns, and he brought his roommate who was Japanese. And it's like, we're Latinos in finance. But it was because of that I've met so many other people. And so every now and then, he would send me stuff. I think he got that from Mike, because Mike would do that too. But Cameron, I just wanted to say thank you. Cameron is retiring because he's getting ready to go to grad school. And we have our fingers crossed. I'm not going to mention the names of the colleges, but I think this guy got a perfect GMAT. He's very smart, but he is also, I don't want to say shy, but he doesn't want to tell everybody all the good things, but I will. So Cameron, I just want you to know, buddy, I really appreciate you. And, maybe I'll go to Stanford so I can still see you. But anyway, man, thank you so much, man, for all that you've done. Applause. And then even though she had to leave, Maria, who I've known forever, she's just been a stalwart. We served on a board together, the African American Wellness Project. And I told her about, we were having drinks with Dr. Lenore one time, and Dr. Lenore said, well, tell her about, at the time, Joyful Noise. And I'm like, she's not going to want it. So I gave her some information, and then about a month later, she says, okay, I'm in. And so Maria is going to be going to our advisory board because she's got a lot that she's doing, and her husband is not doing well health-wise. And then last but not least is Richard Myers, who I've known for 15? His son and my son went to kindergarten together. And Richard was one of the guys that really helped to kind of give it some structure. And he's got 3 kids, and he's just really busy, and he's starting his own thing. So thank you, Richard. He's not dead, but thank you. So the kind of thank yous that I wanted to give out. Brian, are you still in there?
Right.
There he is. I want to thank, even though he doesn't work for Wells Fargo, I do want to thank Wells Fargo for this space and the offer that Wells Fargo has given me to use this space amongst others. And since we're a nonprofit, they're not charging us. And I just can't believe that I have the ability to do things in this space. So our friends with SF Achievers, and I know you guys are a nonprofit too. Just thought I would mention that. I also want to thank Kings for Capital, who we've mentioned before. Also Pincera Securities, the San Francisco CFA Society. I met them at Latinos in Finance. And believe it or not, I was nervous to even go up and talk to them because I didn't know what CFA even meant. But Maria, who's left, she kept, we need to go meet them. And then it turns out that they've done so much for us. We had an opportunity in July, I believe. They comped us to go see the chief economic advisor for the Federal Reserve, Mary Daly. And those tickets were $75 a piece. And they comped us to go. And then we ended up meeting Mary. Well, I did, because I'm not shy. So I walked up to her. She had her entourage of people with her, elbowed them out of the way, and said, I'm Michael Campbell with the Street Smarts. And I said, we're going to be doing a tour of the Federal Reserve. So you think you might want to come down and maybe say hi to us? So she says, okay, we'll try. And so I didn't think we would see her again, but I kept sending her messages on LinkedIn. So we ended up going on August the 3rd, and it was really interesting because I don't know if any of you all, well, some of you have because you're on the tour. To get into the Federal Reserve is like getting into Fort Knox, and I lost my driver's license. And they weren't going to let me in. So they went back and forth asking people if they really knew me. And the only person who had actually met me was Mary Daly. And so we got, and we went and did our tour. We saw more money than we've ever seen in our lives in the basement of the Federal Reserve. And then we were going a tour, and then down comes Mary Daly to come talk to us. And I know she was an inspiration to you. You want to come talk about that?
Sure.
This is Sophia, by the way.
Yes. Hi. Well, nothing. Just like the Federal Reserve has always been like my dream job, and I've always been really up to date about it. And you didn't mention this, but Mary Daly, the person we met, just became president of the Federal Reserve here in San Francisco. So same as Michael, I've kept in contact with her, and hopefully I'll be applying for an internship there for the summer, and application starts in January. So I'm very excited.
So now we are, I was going to tell you what I was going to tell you, but that's fine. Now Mary Daly is the president of, she's a voting, because all of them don't vote, and she gets to vote. And she was a high school dropout. Her story, she was homeless. She was such an inspiration, and I know that was one of the things that you liked about her. So we also want to thank Latinos in Finance. Luca Capital, which is a hedge fund here in San Francisco that had one of our interns in 2017, his name is Ben Consoli. And if any of you went, some of you all went to the Latinos in Finance event a month ago, and Ben was able to get one of the three $1,000 scholarships. And for some reason, he keeps thinking that I made a big difference in his life. He's another one of these really smart kids, but I was glad that I was able to help him. And then I also want to give a shout out to the Urban Financial Services Coalition, which is one of the very first groups that I met. And they were so supportive. But they're in financial services, but it's a lot of mortgage banking, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, it's everything.
It's a lot of everything. But they're good people. And I want to say thank you to them. Park Piedmont Partners, which is where Sophia was this past summer. And then Blaylock Van, SPI Strategies, Terrell, thank you. We had an intern at NIA Impact Capital. And NIA Impact Capital is a woman-owned equity fund, about $85 million. And they're actually located in Oakland at the Impact Hub. And we were able to, my former board member Richard Myers knew her and was able to get her on as an intern. So I also want to say thank you to the to Protected Investors America, which is where Greg is still working. Also want to thank the Federal Reserve. Believe it or not, great people. Networking. How I got that tour was I networked being with NASP. I went on NASP's national LinkedIn site and tried to connect with their board of directors, and they foolishly accepted me, which then improved my algorithm on LinkedIn. Some of you know what I'm talking about. And I got connected with the head of diversity for the New York Fed, which is the biggest one of all of them. They have the gold down at the bottom. And he was like, "You're doing great things." I said, "Can you introduce me to your counterpart in San Francisco?" He did that. And then I was trying to get us a tour. And it was like, I was like trying to, it's extremely hard to get a tour. And because of the connection, within a week, we had our tour. And so I just wanted to let you guys know the positive about networking. No matter where you are, you gotta network, and you can't be afraid. So what if they say no to you? Move on to the next one. And then our friends at Outward Bound, I was hoping Eli was going to be here. And I met them through Terrell and SF Achievers. He's just a friendly guy. And we hit it off. And he was persistent. He's in sales. And he was persistent. And we finally got a chance to go rock climbing. And they ended up giving us 70% off to go with them. And then Mike Wilkins at Kingsford Capital paid the rest of it. So we had a ball. We had a ball. So what I would say is, how can you help those who, it's a stray bullet. Okay. Proofread your slides too. You could host an intern. I know most of you in here are students. That may not mean a lot to you. You can always make a generous contribution to the Street Smarts by going online, either to our site or I have another link that you can go to. And then volunteer to be a mentor. So, why do I do what I do? Well, I'm going to tell you in a second, but I got to walk over here to do this.
Sandwiches.
He's leaving cards, you guys. Terrell, thanks, brother. So, some of you guys know, most of you don't, but some of you guys know that in my spare time I like to sing. So I'm going to sing something for you guys. And it's the reason why I do what I do. And so this song was originally done by George Benson, and it was popularized by Whitney Houston. It's called The Greatest Love of All. So I'm going to sing it for you. Don't look at me, camera. I believe the children are our future. Teach them well and let them lead the way. Show them all the beauty they possess inside. Give them a sense of pride to make it easier. Let the children's laughter remind us how we used to be. Everybody's searching for a hero. We all need someone to look up to. Never found anyone who could fulfill my needs. A lonely place to be. But I learned to depend on me. I decided long ago never to walk in anyone's shadow. If I fail, if I succeed, at least I lived as I believe. No matter what they take from you, they can't take away my dignity. I'm going to stop there because I'm going to start crying.
Yeah!
You may go if you like, or you can stay and eat and drink and what have you. But everybody, thank you so much for coming out.